A vow. Have you ever really thought about its shape? We tend to think of it as a word, don't we? Something spoken, an agreement, a promise that just travels on the air. But what if it has a shape? What if it has a weight, a presence you can actually feel in a room? Does it make a sound? Or is its true nature found in the exact opposite of sound, in the deep silence that holds those words? Maybe a vow isn't something we make at all, but a space we enter. Or a garment we wear, its threads carrying the weight of generations. A single cup we share, its contents mingling two separate lives until they become one. Perhaps its true shape is only visible in those quiet moments, in the silence between breaths, in the long pause before a single step is taken. It always begins with a step, a single deliberate decision to leave one world and slowly, carefully, enter another. It's not a sudden leap, but a considered walk. This, right here, is the first shape of the vow, a path. A space that's been set apart where the familiar rhythm of the everyday just begins to fall away, where all the noise of the world is kindly asked to wait outside the gate. Just watch them for a moment. The procession. It isn't simply a walk from one point to another. No, this is a journey away from everything that is known, away from the self that existed just moments before. Every person in that line is like a single note in a very slow, very quiet piece of music. The bride and groom, their families, all moving in this perfect, silent unison, guided by the shrine priest and the miko. This is the sun Shin no gi. What you're seeing is them walking out of ordinary time and into an ancient time, a time that is always present, right here, just waiting to be entered. And under their feet, the ground speaks, not with words, but with sound. That sharp crunch of white stones, a sound that measures every single step, making it real, making it felt. In this moment, it's the only sound that really matters. It's a rhythm of purpose, a sound that says you are here now. And the air, you can almost feel it, can't you? It's cold, sharp against the skin. But it's not an enemy, it's a teacher. It cleanses the mind. It asks for absolute focus. And the world becomes very small and infinitely large, all at the same time. There's just this path, this sound, this air, and the silent promise being carried forward with every single step. So you have to wonder, is this a journey towards a new life with another person? Or is it really a journey deeper into the self, to the very core of one's own heart, to find the promise that was always waiting there to be found? Perhaps it's both. A path that leads forward, but only by first leading inward. It's a question with no single answer, just left to echo in the quiet space between each step. Before you can stand in the presence of the gods, you have to be made ready. This is the shubatsu, the ritual of purification. It's such a simple act, but it carries a profound weight. The priest waves a wand of paper streamers, an anusa, and with this one ancient gesture, all the dust of the outside world is brushed away. The worries, the distractions, the noise of schedules and deadlines, all of it is shed, left behind at the gate. All so that one may stand, pure and present, before something much, much older than oneself. Ready to listen, ready to receive. The space has been prepared. And now, the body within that space must also be transformed. Our focus narrows now to a single figure, the bride. The garment she wears is not just clothing. It is a statement. It is a story, told in layers and layers of pure silk. The shiramuku, all white. A pure, almost blinding white. From the outermost layer, the uchikake, to the innermost kakeshita, from the hood that covers her hair to the tabi socks on her feet, it is heavy. A real physical weight that changes the way she moves, that slows her pace, that demands a deliberate grace with every single gesture. It's a costume for entering another world. But its symbolic weight, well, that's heavier still. What does it really mean to be dressed entirely in white? To become a vessel for a promise? Well, first, it stands for purity, the color of sunlight on fresh snow. It's a symbol of a pure heart, a spirit ready to make a sacred vow. It's like a blank page on which a new life will be written. But then, the white is also an ending. In ancient Japan, white was the color of the funeral shroud, of the journey to the next world. And so, in this moment, the bride dies to her own family, to the self she's always been. She lets go of her past so that she can begin anew. And that brings us to the third meaning, The white is a sign of readiness, a readiness to be dyed in the colors of the groom's house, to become a part of a new family, a new lineage. It's a profound act of transformation worn right there on the body. But hidden within all these layers of white, there are secrets, small objects carried close to the body. A small dagger, the kaiken. It's a memory of a time when samurai women carried one for self-defense. But here, it's not a weapon. It's a symbol of resolve, a promise to protect her new family and her own honor. And there's a small purse, the hakuseko, once used for things like cosmetics and paper. Now, it's a symbol of the past she carries with her, a piece of her former self held close to her heart as she steps into the future. And on her head, another layer of meaning. Sometimes it's a white hood, the wataboshi, worn for the ceremony. It hides her face from all but the groom, creating a private little world just for the two of them. Or she might wear the tsuno kakushi, which is a white band of cloth. And its name can be translated as hiding the horns. It's a symbolic act, a promise to leave behind the sharper edges of the self, jealousy, ego, anger, and to cultivate the heart of a gentle, serene, and supportive partner. It is a vow of emotional transformation, made visible for all to see. And right beside her, you see this figure of stark, beautiful contrast, the groom, in his formal black Mantsuki Haori Hakama. If her white is the blank page, a story that's waiting to be written, his black is the ink. Black is a color that cannot be dyed by any other. It represents a strength and a resolve that will not waver. He is the unchangeable foundation upon which a new family will be built. And together, they are a perfect balance. The beginning and the resolve to see it through. The canvas and the unwavering ink that will write their future. And now, we arrive at the heart of the ceremony. All the preparation, the walking, the purification, the dressing, it has all led to this single, quiet moment. The sun kudo, 3, 3, 9 times. The sharing of sake. And what's so striking is that there are no spoken words here, no grand declarations read from a scroll. The vow is made in the silence, in a gesture that has been repeated since the age of the samurai, with roots that go all the way back to the Muromachi period. It is a ritual of profound, quiet intensity. The air itself seems to grow still. The vow is made in 3 acts, using 3 cups of increasing size. First, the smallest cup is brought forward. This cup is for the past. It's a gesture of gratitude to the ancestors of both families for all the lives that led to this one moment. Without them, this day would not exist. The groom takes the cup. He sips. Once, twice, a 3rd time. Then he passes it to the bride. She does the same. Now the second, medium cup. This cup is for the present. This is the promise between the bride and groom, a pledge to share everything, the joys and the sorrows from this day forward. And finally, the 3rd, large cup. This is for the future. It is a prayer for the prosperity of the family, for the generations that will follow, for the continuation of the lineage. 3 sips from 3 cups, a total of 9 sips. And 9, in Japanese culture, is a supremely lucky number, the pinnacle of fortune. In this simple, repeated act of sharing, 2 separate fates are bound together. From this moment on, they will drink from the same cup of life. 9. 3 times 3, it's a number of completion, a promise made and sealed, a past that has been acknowledged, a present that has been bound, a future that is hoped for. It's a vow made not with words that can fade with the wind, but with a silent, shared act that becomes a part of the body, a memory held in the senses, a pact of forever, counted in 9 small sips of sacred wine. But this vow, this silent promise that was just sealed in 9 sips, is not just between 2 people. In the traditional view, it's something much, much larger than that. A wedding was never just about a bride and a groom. It was about the joining of 2 houses, 2 lineages. You can almost picture 2 separate streams, flowing down from the mountains through generations, each with its own history, its own story. This ceremony is the moment of confluence, where those 2 streams merge to become one single stronger river, flowing onward into the future. So what is an ie? It's so much more than just a home. It's more than the immediate family who lives there. It is a continuous line, stretching from the distant past, through this present moment, and into a future that is yet to be born. It is the ancestors, the living and the descendants, all connected as one single entity. And the Shinzoku no gi makes this real. After the couple has shared their cups, a cup is shared among all the relatives who are present. And with this shared sip of sake, 2 families officially become one. The abstract idea of a new lineage is made physical, tangible, sealed in a shared taste. In some regions, like Tohoku in the north, this connection is made even more explicit. There's a ritual called Butdan Mairi, which is a visit to the family's Buddhist altar. The bride is formally introduced to the spirits of the ancestors of her new family. They aren't just memories, they are witnesses. They are the foundation of the house she is now joining. The vow is made not just for the living, but for the dead and the unborn as well. You know, this one idea, a wedding vow, is like a seed. It contains a universal promise. But when you plant that seed in different soil under different skies, it grows into a different kind of plant. The core promise is always the same, but its expression, its shape, is molded by the land itself, by its history, its climate, its people. The vow begins to speak in a local dialect, a language of place. Think about Hokkaido, Japan's northern frontier, a land of snow and hardship, settled by immigrants from all over the country. Here, tradition wasn't just inherited, it was created out of necessity and cooperation. And a wedding reflects this history. It's practical, it's communal. Friends are chosen to be hokkinen, organizers who plan the entire event. And guests pay a set fee, a kaihi, instead of giving a gift of money. It's not about grand gestures, but about shared effort, a community coming together to build a celebration from the ground up, with everyone contributing, sharing the burden and the joy equally. Now travel south to Ibaraki, a land of rivers and lakes. Here, an old custom called Itako Hanayome still lives on, and it's like a beautiful floating poem. The bride, in her full white regalia, boards a small boat. Alone, she is rowed across the water, the gentle sounds of the oar her only companion. She is in a liminal space, no longer in her old home, not yet in her new one. She is a bride afloat between two worlds, a stunning, poetic symbol of her life's passage. And waiting on the far shore, watching her slow journey across the water, is her groom. In Kagawa, a prefecture that's famous for its udon, the local food becomes part of the vow itself. At the wedding feast, long, thick noodles are served to everyone. It is so much more than just a meal. It's an edible prayer, a wish that the couple's life together, their happiness and their good fortune, will be as long, as strong, and as unbroken as these noodles. It's a universal wish, given a uniquely local flavor. And then there is Okinawa, the southern islands, with their own distinct, vibrant culture. Here, a wedding is not a quiet, solemn affair for a few relatives. No, it is a vast, joyful explosion of community. The guest list can swell to 300 or 400 people. The doors are open to all. And at the end of the celebration, everyone, young and old, family and friend, gets up to dance the kachashi, hands waving in the air to the rhythm of the sanshin. It is joy made visible, a promise shared and celebrated not by a few, but by an entire village. This ceremony, it feels ancient, doesn't it? Timeless, as if it has always existed in this exact form. And in many ways it has. But it's not a static object, a fossil frozen in amber. It's a living practice that has moved and adapted and found new homes through time. The very place where the vow was made has a history of its own, a story of how a society changes and how its most important promises change right along with it. For centuries, the vow was spoken at home. The original ceremony, the shogun, was an intimate affair held in the main room of the groom's house, right before the family altar. It was a private promise, witnessed only by family and the spirits of the ancestors. Then, in the year 1900, a single event changed everything. The future Emperor Taisho was married in a grand, public ceremony at a Shinto shrine, and suddenly the entire nation wanted to do the same. The shrine wedding was born, a new tradition for a new, modernizing Japan. The vow moved from the private home to the public, sacred space of the shrine. But this new tradition was fragile. In 1923, the Great Kanto earthquake devastated Tokyo. Shrines were destroyed, and in this moment of national crisis, a new space emerged. The Imperial Hotel, a symbol of modernity, built a shrine inside its walls so that weddings could continue. The hotel wedding was born, not from luxury, but from necessity, a sanctuary for promises in a broken city. And so it continues to evolve. The space changes, from the quiet of the home, to the sacred ground of the shrine, to the grand hall of a hotel, to a modern guest house. The dress changes, as some brides now choose a Western white dress over a traditional shiramuku. The guests change, as friends become as central to the day as family. The world outside keeps turning, and the ceremony turns with it. But through all of this change, something at the very center holds steady. Something essential remains untouched. The core of the ritual endures. The quiet, profound act of two people and two families making a promise. The shape of the vow itself remains. It brings us all the way back to the beginning, back to that simple, silent act. The path of white gravel, the wheat of white silk, the 9 small sips. What is truly being promised in that moment? It is more than just words. It is a promise to share a single stream of life, to accept the past, to bind the present, and to build a future. A promise held not in a shout, but in a whisper. Not in a statement, but in a question. Held in a single cup, shared in silence. What is the shape of a vow?